is going on, everybody? I hope you're all doing well. Today we are checking out the Ethos Clean Fusion Deluxe preamp / pedal. This is a 2-channel pedal that's based on 2 really great amps, one being a Fender Blackface, specifically the AB763 circuit. The other amp is the highly sought after Dumble Overdrive Special, in this case specifically serial number 102, so it's kind of cool to know which Overdrive Special was being looked at. Okay, so I say preamp / pedal because you can use it either as a preamp, in other words, straight into your DAW, straight to front of house, or you can run it into, say, the back end or the power amp section of your amplifier or the front end of your amplifier. I couldn't decide how I wanted to demo it, but honestly, when I first plugged it in, I tried it direct into the DAW using the speaker sim out, which I think is based on a Celestion G12 65 speaker. And it just sounded great right away. And it was really easy to dial in. So that's how I will be demoing this pedal. This pedal is feature laden for sure, but it's not hard to navigate. I didn't have any problems figuring out what was going on. So let's get right into what's on top of this thing. So 2 channels, you have an F channel and a D channel. The F channel, or the Fender channel, consists of a gain and then treble and bass, which is what you'd expect with that circuit, as well as a volume. That's going to be your output of the channel. We'll get into how all that sounds. It also has a reverb on board. It is a plate reverb, so there's your reverb control. We'll get into how that sounds, as well as a high cut, which is essentially a low pass filter that allows you to tame the top end. We will definitely get into how that sounds. The other channel, the Dumble Overdrive channel, or D channel, consists of gain, treble, mid, and bass, which is what you would see on a Dumble Overdrive Special, obviously, and your volume, which is the output of that channel. This one also has the same plate reverb and high cut filter. We'll definitely check out that channel and how it sounds. Right below that is the HRM circuit, or EQ. I believe HRM, it is a Dumble thing, and it stands for Hot Rodded Marshall. So it gives you kind of that Marshall thing. It sounds really great. It's assignable to either the F channel by itself or the D channel by itself, or both channels at the same time. I ended up using it on the whole time because I thought it sounded so great. And we'll definitely check it out in the demo. That circuit, or EQ, consists of a boost, so you can actually boost the level. It's post drive, high, mid, and low. Okay, so on the right side of the pedal, on the master output section, you've got 4 different 3-way switches happening. The switch on the top is called GAC. That's for guitar amp compensation. It's really for if you're going to run either into the power section of an amplifier or to the front end of an amplifier, you can kind of compensate for the characteristics of that amp. Now, of course, I'm running this direct to DAW, but I will let you hear what that adds. In the up position, it's essentially neutral or off. In the middle position, you're going to hear way more mids. In the bottom position, it says L, but you're going to hear just a little more mids. And like I said, we'll check it out in the demo so you guys have an idea of what's going on. Right next to that is the HRM select switch. That basically allows you to take that HRM EQ and either assign it, like if you want to leave it on, you can assign it to either the Fender channel or the Dumble channel, or both at the same time. That's how that works. Very cool feature. Below that on the left is your presence. In the middle is essentially neutral. If you go up to the H setting, you're going to add, I think it's 3 kilohertz. I'm not sure what the amplitude is, but it's very audible. You'll hear it right away. In the down position, it's actually going to cut some presence. So we'll check that out for sure in the demo. And then last is the bottom toggle switch. Does what you think it does. In the middle is neutral. Up is going to be adding a lot of low end, or I should say more low end. In the down position, or L position, it's going to be adding less low end. I believe that frequency is 100 hertz. You've got 4 switches across the bottom. You've got your channel select, your PAB, HRM, and the active switch. The active switch is just turning it on and off. HRM turns that EQ on and off. Channel select allows you to toggle between the F channel and the D channel. PAB, that's what I think it stands for Preamp Boost. Basically what it does is it's only applied to the Dumble Overdrive channel. It bypasses the tone stack. It's essentially going to sound like a mid boost, but there's going to be more gain there. We'll check that out in the demo. It sounds really great. On the back side of the pedal, you've got your ins and outs. So you've got your input, which is obvious. You have an effects loop send and return. That is post, drive, and reverb. Right next to that is your 9-volt DC. Right next to that is your remote foot switch input. So if you want to switch this thing remotely, you can. Right next to that is your headphone out, which I believe is a tap off of the speaker sim out. And speaking of the speaker sim out, that's what I used for this demo, straight into my DAW. It is a TRS output. And then right next to that is your normal out, which is the output you would employ to run to the front end of an amp or a power section. On the bottom of the pedal, you have this mini potentiometer that's going to allow you to adjust the reverb delay or length. I didn't touch it. I'm going to leave it alone for this demo. I believe it's in the center, but you can make it shorter or longer depending on what you dig. So without further ado, let's check out the Ethos Clean Fusion Deluxe Preamp. All right, let's give this Clean Fusion Deluxe a listen. Okay, cool. Just some mindless sloppy noodling to give you guys an idea of how this thing sounds, and actually how I chose to dial it as a direct to DAW using that cab sim output. I really got sounds that I was happy with, but I did incorporate the HRM EQ, the Hot Rodded Marshall Dumble thingy EQ, to both channels. I had it on the whole time, as you may have noticed. I just really liked it like that. I'm not saying you should run it that way, but I thought it sounded great for what I was doing and how it felt to just have it on the whole time. Let's get into this thing. Let's go to the clean channel. I'm going to go ahead and shut the HRM off, so we're hearing just the two preamp sections, and then we'll come back and visit that and check out how it sounds. So we'll start on the Fender channel, black panel style circuit. Sounds and feels really good to me. Let's just look at the gain. I'm going to go ahead and turn the Reverb down, and we'll check out the Reverb later as well. Now I'm adjusting the volume because I had the HRM the whole time, which does have a boost, so that's why I'm turning that up a bit. Obviously gain off. About right there is where it starts waking up. Very, very clean. About right there is where it's going to start breaking up, which is almost, to me, kind of typical of a Fender circuit. Starts waking up, starts getting that edge of breakup thing. As we start cranking this up, we're going to obviously adjust volume. So now we're just about all the way up. Now it's really starting to honk like that circuit would. If I hit it with like a humbucker. So that channel breaks up really nicely as a rhythm channel, cranked like that. As you crank it up, it starts getting that natural kind of amp sag. So that's what's going on there. I'm going to shut the Reverb all the way off, and I'll leave it set about like this. And let's just listen to the Treb circuit all the way off, all the way up. So pretty big range there. I like it about right there. Sounds really sweet. Let's do the bass. Here's off. Starts kicking in pretty quick. Midway, all the way up. Very typical of that Fender circuit. It's pretty pillowy if you really crank it. But yeah, very effective. I like it about right there. And then, of course, we know what the volume does. It just depends on how you have your gain set. There is a high cut, which is like a low pass filter. Tames the top end. So you can just do a little dabble do with that, but you can just do minor tweaks to get it to sit the way you want it, depending on the guitar and what you're doing. Let's check out the reverb. This is on both channels. It's a plate reverb. I'll go ahead and just turn it all the way up. Now you can change the length of it. I like it the way it sits. So stock, I think it's at noon, that little mini potentiometer on the bottom of the pedal. About right there is where I had it. Yeah, it was about right there for that performance. Really nice sounding reverb. Okay, let's go ahead and jump to the Dumble Overdrive channel. So right now I've got it in the lower gain setting. So let's just sweep that. Here's all the way off. This thing can almost mimic this channel, especially in that low gain mode. You can dial it really clean. I'll keep turning it up. So that's the range in the lower setting. I'll put it at noon and I'll go ahead and throw that gain switch to the higher, more saturated setting. Okay, so all the way up with a back humbucker, it's a good amount of gain. But it'll still roll off with the volume control, so it's very responsive. So that's the gain range. Now, just to show you the Preamp Boost, I think that's what it stands for, but it essentially bypasses the tone stack, and it's almost like a mid-range boost, but it bypasses this, so it's no longer active. So check this out. If you want even more gain, so that's what that does. It only applies to this channel. So there's the gain range. I'm going to leave it in low. And I'm going to turn my guitar back on. Let's check out the sweep of the tone stack. That's the treble. We'll do the mid. That's the mid. I like it about there. Treble maybe there. Let's check out the bass. The bass can get a little bit, I guess, tubby or a little woolly. Which is typical of that type of circuit. But once again, it's really just like that Fender circuit, a little dab will do. You just keep it backed off, especially if you're going to run higher gain. And then obviously the volume is based on where you set the gain. Okay, so that's what's going on there. High cut does the same thing. Tames that top end. Let's look at this accent switch. In the up position, it's going to be more that mid boost. In the down position, it's going to be brighter. So check this out. Check this out. I don't know what's wrong with me. Okay, mid boost up. And I just, in the room, it seems like that's actually maybe adding a bit of gain or saturation. And then we'll go from center, which is off, which I think is like the rock setting on a Dumble, to down to a bright setting. So that setting would do nicely, especially if you're running higher gain. You just want to cut through. And of course, reverb on this channel, same type of reverb, post drive. So that's what the verb's doing, had it off the whole time. So that's that channel. Let's listen to what's happening over here in this essentially output section. The GAC is, I think it's guitar amp compensation. So in this case, I'm running direct, but it compensates for mid notch from what I can understand. So if you're running to the input of a guitar amp or possibly even a power section that maybe isn't as flat, this is where you would employ it, but I'll just let you hear what it does. That's off, which is how I'm using it for direct. Lots of mid boost in the high section or setting. And if you want to go to the low setting, the HRM Select, which I'm going to check that out right now, but that allows you to assign, if you just leave it on, to one channel or the other. It allows you to choose to have it on just for the Fender side or just for the Deluxe side, or in this case, the way I ran it was both sides on. That's what that's doing. The presence is exactly what you think in the center. Passive, or I should say not doing anything. Up, quite a bit of presence. Down, it's actually cutting, and I think the frequency is 3 kilohertz. I think that's right, but that's what that's doing. I liked it in the center, just flat. The bottom in the center, flat. If you go up, bunch more low end. If you go down, it's a little bit more low. I liked it there. I believe the frequency is 100 hertz. I'm not sure what the amplitude is as far as how much boost is there. Maybe 3 dB. I don't know, but it's whatever it is. It's working nicely. I'll leave that in the low section. We already talked about the PAB. Last but not leastest is the HRM circuit. Like I said, I used it the whole time, but just check it out. Let's go back to the clean. I mean, just turning it on, it wakes everything up. Obviously, I'm boosting a little bit. Now, the way it dials is for flat, you would go mid actually all the way up, but the high and low settings are off, and that's flat. So now we're just boosting. Just clipped my front end, but you get the idea. You can boost. And in this case, I'm adding highs. Really sweet high-end frequency. I added about that much. We can listen to the mids. I didn't mess with them. I just left them all the way up. It's like that circuit is like almost like a low mid circuit. It even adds some lows to me. So I just leave that wide open. And then of course the low end circuit, it's like turning your 1x12 into a 4x12. Just really, really nice sounding. So same thing for channel 2. Really great sounding circuit. So that is the HRM Clean Fusion. If you've got any other, I should say Clean Fusion Deluxe. If you've got any other questions about it, definitely go to the website. And as always, once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.